Hey, it's late at night and I want to go to sleep. It's been a long day for me. Thursday is a very special day for me during the week because I get to listen to Paul Begley's Thursday night podcast on what Mike from around the world has to say. I've just finished listening to the podcast. And if you don't take the time to listen, shame on you because what's coming is going to catch up to you. And if you try to bury your head in the sand to avoid what's coming, not going to work. Not going to work, and the heavens are about to be shaken like you would not believe. So I'm putting a plug in for Paul Begley and Mike from around the world. They're doing a fantastic job. Mike declassifies uh, relative information. He does not prophesy. He declassifies scientific fact. What he knows that is true. And, you know, trying to wake the people up. And the sad point is that the religious crowd out there, I'm talking about the church people, that they're asleep, they're dumbed down, they don't want to hear the truth. They're the ones that's going to be caught by surprise with their pants down. That's where it's heading. I know David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, he's prophesied for since 1967 till up to the fall of 2019. A lot of years. 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017, 50 years. And I'm going to do what I can to find some specific prophecies where the Lord spoke to him and said that a time is coming where the sun is going to be shaken out of its orbit by a partial degree. This is coming. When the sun is shaken out of its orbit by even a fraction of a degree, that's going to affect all the planets within our solar system. You know what's we know that Mike from around the world, he talks about the cause, the reason why this is going to happen. So when the sun gets shaken out of its orbit, it's going to cause the Earth to be shaken out of its orbit by several degrees. And David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, he's been sharing this stuff 20, 30 years ago, even before there was internet. He's still alive, and he's got dementia, and I believe the Lord's going to raise him back up because he's got the plans. When the Lord gave him the plans for the blessed areas in America, these protected areas of land, designated by the hand of God. When he made up the map of these areas, the Lord told him to seal them up and to bury them. And a curse was put on those plans for anyone who would try to gain access. It would cost you your life. And he's got dementia, so he doesn't remember where he buried these plans for building these safe communities in America as ordained by Creator God. But I heard him speak a number of times that both the sun and the moon's going to get shaken out of its orbit. Maybe I could do a research on the videos that I have. I have a lot of data on my computer. I'm actually, today when I was in town, getting some ink cartridges for my printer, that the computer place actually have refurbished computers. So I put a request in for a quote to get a refurbished computer, something with 2 terabytes, 16 gigs of RAM, a little faster than the one I have now, right? This is a one that I use now, and that's about 5 years old. When I bought it, it was already secondhand. And I just feel now is the best time to get a backup. And something that's close to a gaming computer, right? It's going to have, that has the, be able to do the work that needs to be done. Because the work on this micro community camps, I've already started in that. I have to crunch the numbers again. And but coming into a time, so many people are going to perish because they're not prepared. You know, so many. The death toll of the bell is about to sound. And God's people are going to have to come together, and if we don't, then it really is doomsday for the Christian church. It definitely is doomsday for the religious crowd, because they got their heads buried in the sand. And just imagine their surprise when the Antichrist comes and pokes them in the butt, saying, "Get your head out of the sand." You know, that's coming. Our greatest influence, starting in March this year, these next 7 years, that the Earth's going to be shaken out of its orbit. Right? The sun's going to be affected. That Saturn is going to be affected. Right? And Saturn kind of is like the guardian of the solar system, keeps everything in check. And so Saturn is, Mike from around the world is saying tonight that Saturn is going to may go several thousand miles outside of its orbit, and that it would affect all the inner planets. So we're coming into a time that the Earth is going to go topsy-turvy. Everything is not going to be as business as usual. And it really saddens my heart where people don't want to listen to the truth. It's going to cost you something. It really is going to cost you something, because when the heavens are shaking, it's going to shake you right down to the core. And you're going to be caught in the storm. Time is coming this year where believers are going to have to pull out every nickel and dime that they have in their life savings. The banks are already shaving off people's assets right now in America, right? So if you don't use your life savings for the kingdom of God, the kingdom of the devil is going to take it from you. Your money's not going to save you. Your all the money that you that you put away for your elderly years is going to be gone. Times we're going into. And I really need to press double time into completing the layouts for these arc ship designs. And I went over it today, and I found out that the most efficient, the most diversified, the most cost-effective and easily produced system when making these refuge places would be to replicate the the geodesic dome, to use a 3D printer to print the molds and make the molds, right? Because you could have it to where you get all the data is there, and the 3D printer would print out the mold that you want, windows, the openings, everything. And but you make a reverse mold where you could use fiberglass and spray that in like you're making a boat, or you could use fiberglass and cement, or probably hempcrete would be the best. You know, Henry Ford on his first car was made out of hempcrete. It was made out of hemp plastic. And hemp, you know, is, I think on 1 acre of land that hemp replaces wood 4 to 1 or something like that. And it's a renewable resource. Hemp can be used for many things. So 2023, we need to plant hemp to be able to use it as a viable building alternative. We don't have that much time to prepare people. When the panic hits the fan, not everyone is going to be able to prepare. There'll be a very small fraction of the population that will be ahead of schedule to get ready to do something today. Right? Most of the population, what's coming upon the earth, most of the population is going to take you by surprise. Maybe that's God's mercy, because He gets to take you home. The majority of the population of the earth, both believers and unbelievers, they're not ready. They're not informed. They don't listen to what Mike from around the world, what he has to say. And like Paul Begley's podcast reaches out to, I think a little over 10,000 people now. And you compare that to the rest of the population, that's very small. It should have millions and millions of views. It should have millions of views. So I'm just putting in my plug for Pastor Paul Begley, his wife, and for Mike from around the world. And if you can't take the time to listen to the information that they're bringing forth, shame on you. Because it is going to catch up to you. It will catch up to you. That your ignorance will catch up to you. You can only bury your head in the sand for so long. And the truth is going to, the truth is supposed to set you free, but if you don't want to listen to the truth, then you pay the consequence for not preparing for the storm. Right? So anyway, by this time tomorrow night, I hope to have the rough draft complete for the micro community camps. I had to expand the size from 0.5 to 0.667 acre, and like I was saying, the most economical way to build the center connector, the community center in the middle, is just to make a a 54 foot dome like this. That'd be about 4 stories tall. Then you use the relocation platform technology, which is a system of interlocking hexagonal floor systems spaced at 8 feet on center, where you can actually make multi-levels. So on the main floor, people have access to come and eat and worship. The center could be kind of open. On the second floor, you would have a ring of apartments, maybe a third floor, a place for prayer. intercession, and the top would be an atrium. So it'll probably accommodate 4 families, maybe 6 families. You don't want to make it too crowded. And that's the connector for 6 other modules that are around that are on a smaller scale. Same concept, smaller scale, connected by tube connectors, like a space station on space. So this could be all put into a computer format to where this could be built in any shop, right? You can do it unawares. If you got a shop, you could start producing these panels, start growing hemp, which is going to be your basic expense. Hemp is a fantastic building material, right? And we need to start growing hemp as a building material, and that food, clothing, oils. We're going to need this. Hemp is very durable. It's probably one of the most durable crops out there, and it replenishes the soil, right? And so that's part of the work that God has put on my plate in the next couple of days to get that ready. I'm still looking for a reply back from a brother. He sent back a really nice detailed reply saying that he's extremely interested in these ARC ship communities in the construct, and he said that he wants to hook me up with Paul Robinson to take the work that I have and get it to Paul Robinson in the UK. He's a master builder when it comes to geodesic construction. And, I'd sure like to be able to have someone that knows how to put this 2-dimensional data, these pictures that I'm doing, to put it into a 3D format, to where you could actually do have a 3-dimensional, like taking a picture from above, right? And to where you could actually do a walkthrough. And but overall, it would be the most economical, most cost efficient, most diversified, and the easiest to mass produce on a global scale, because that's what we're going to need. You can't just build these ARC ship communities anywhere. They would have to be ordained by the Lord. God knows in His foreknowledge where the safe areas are. But please take the time, people, to listen, to take 45 minutes on Thursday night to listen to Mike from around the world on Pastor Paul Begley's podcast. If you don't, you're going to be in the dark, and you will go into a time of shock when the S hits the fan. Right? Can't stop what's coming. Well, we can prepare ourselves spiritually and begin to secure what we need to do in the natural to preserve our families. Or you can do nothing and be forced to take the mark of the beast. Right? That's where I'm coming from. Going to end it here. I really need to, I'm tired, I need to sleep. Shuttle bus day today. But I couldn't go to sleep without getting this last message out for the day to you people out there. If you want to contact me, you can. My email is remnantprepper REMNANT PREPPER at Gmail. Right? You can send me a contact, and I'll send you my phone number, and maybe we can talk or do a Zoom meeting. And time's coming, people, as we come into these micro asteroids hitting the Earth, into this asteroid debris field. You know, the internet's not going to be here forever, because the satellites are going to start coming down. The satellites are going to start coming down, right? So what do you do when the system collapse comes? I hope you know how to pray. And it's going to take coming together in the unity of the mind of Christ, right? People coming together where our minds are renewed by the revelation of the Word, to begin to prepare for the days ahead. You know, sad times are coming, but also the most challenging times in all history. I'm going to leave it here. Be blessed.